Mosab, this is your night. You see the audience in Israel. How do you like you? How do you love you?
This is our night. This is Tel Aviv. This is one of the greatest cities in the world. It's not the greatest. And really warm welcome, like the one we got from the Oxford Union.
Amazing. First, we're happy, really happy to see you this night. Mosab Yousef, you know, the great testimony. I think today in the world that can tell us who's Hamas today. Mosab Yousef grew in a house of leader of Hamas. He worked with Shin. He was called the Green Prince, and then today he's the great voice that defending Israel in the international community. Thank you for your Okay, let's go quickly. There is ceasefire in Gaza. Tomorrow we're going to have 3 Jewish kids kidnapped in Gaza. But you know the guys that we're going to release, the great terrorists, big terrorists, like Ibrahim. You knew all of them. You caught them. And now Israel is going to release them. What do you say?
Well, now you mentioned Ibrahim, you're not offending me very much as you're offending Gunen Benetzka, because he's somewhere among the audience. He's the one who captured him. I also need to think about all the families, the mothers, the parents of the victims of Ibrahim Hamid's suicide bombing attacks before and after the second Intifada. Hundreds, if not thousands of casualties, wounded and killed on the hands of this terrorist, criminal, sub-animal. That's Ibrahim Hamid. And today, they are asking the release of innocent hostages who have been kidnapped from their living room for exchange of such people, savages like Ibrahim Hamid and others. One society is doing everything within their ability to save one human life, knowing the consequences of releasing such monsters. Another society is celebrating the release of such dangerous people and put them back on the streets to guarantee the continuation of this mad cycle of violence. And the world is confused. They cannot see it for what it is. But what I know from a personal experience, that there is no escape from karma. And it doesn't matter from justice. If you put him on the moon, karma will hunt him wherever he goes. This is a killer, this is a terrorist, and it doesn't matter where he goes. For the rest of his day, this is who he is. But in the meantime, we celebrate the return of our hostages, and we hope that we celebrate the return of everyone.
Well, the first time I saw you, he was outside the prison offer. You waited for your father that he would go out.
Yeah.
So you know the atmosphere when the terrorists coming back. What he's going to do to the streets? He's going to push all the terror again, because Ibrahim Hamid is like more than Yahya Sinwar, and we're going to release it.
Look, Yahya Sinwar was more of a gangster. He's a child of what's called a refugee camp. He plays like a tough guy. Ibrahim Hamid is much more sophisticated. He's a historian, he's intellectual, he's very quiet, he's a ghost. As I mentioned, Gunen and I, we were hunting for the man for 8 years in Ramallah. We did not see him for 4 years. And finally when we got him, and before actually we get to the point where we arrested him, it was the time when my father, as you know, is a leader in Hamas. He called me and he said, I want you to go with me and pick up few prisoners from the Palestinian Authority. I drove the car, we went down to Bitunia, not far from our house, and we fit 5 Hamas guys just released from the Palestinian Authority. Ibrahim Hamid was one of them. And I took them, I drove them to the safe house. When I called Gonan and I told him the situation, everybody was in a shock because Ibrahim Hamid had lots of blood on his hand already, and he was supposed not to be released by the Palestinian Authority, according to the security coordination. But here we are, and I was surprised, everybody was surprised, but now we know they're safe house. Few months later, Ibrahim Hamid managed to disappear from the radar. And the outcome of that was the death of hundreds of Israelis. It took us 8 years to capture him. And today I live to see Ibrahim Hamid being released again, or to be released again. I don't know what to do about that. If you ask me personally, executed such a criminal is a person.
Beginning of the war, you said you executed even your father.
Look, in a moment of despair, when you run out of options, and as you see how complicated it is, and from the beginning they took the hostages to bring Israel to its knees, the entire nation, not only the government, but the entire nation, to divide the nation. They have been aiming to the collapse of the Israeli government. They want Israel from October 8th to declare defeat and to come to the negotiating table, accepting Hamas massacre and Hamas genocide committed on October 7th. This is why they took the hostages as the most dangerous card in their hands. And as you see today, after almost 1.5 years of this war, we had no choice but to submit to a certain degree to Hamas' demand. Why? Because most people in this room, if not everybody, we believe in humanity, we believe in life. They don't. They believe in the afterlife. This is what they believe. So,
They prepare to die any moment for this?
pardon?
They prepare to die any moment to be shaheed for this?
And that's not a strength. This is weakness. Because their fear is not of death. Their fear is of life. They're afraid of life. And that's the greater fear. This is why they seek death. It's not a privilege. And I don't respect such death cult. And if you want to die, go die alone. Go somewhere to the desert and die with your entire tribe. Go to hell, who cares? But to choose to kill many innocent people who choose to live, this is not up to you. And this is the crime of Hamas, and this is the crime of Islamists and jihadists all over the world.
Those jihadists, how they treat our refugees, our kidnappers, our soldiers in the tunnels in Gaza, how they treat them?
Look, in Israel, what's so-called Palestinian prisoners, they get education, they get medicine, the Red Cross visit them, they visit their families. Israel allowed them to purchase the cantina, to buy whatever they want, to have access to books, to write books, to publish books. The hostages have been there in Gaza for how long? They did not even allow the Red Cross to see them. You tell me how they treat the hostages. Only God knows. And as someone who lived with Hamas, in prison for almost 2 years, more than 2 years. Hamas brutality does not surprise me. They don't have compassion, they don't have mercy.
Even in the morning at the 7 of October, you wasn't surprised when they were so cruel, they slaughtered, they raped, you didn't was surprised?
Surprised by the scale of the attack, but not surprised by the cruelty and brutality and the darkness of Hamas. So back to the execution. If the mass murderers of Hamas had been executed from day one based on their crimes, somebody like Ibrahim Hamid is sentenced to death, sentenced into prison for more than 60 life, what do you call it, spans? It's madness. Put him in prison for 20 years, then execute him, electric chair, make it painful. I take the responsibility for being inhumane. Otherwise, how can you force the others not to follow the steps of Ibrahim Hamid and those mass murderers? But now all of them think if they kill more civilians, they are going to be rewarded eventually by being released as heroes. And this has to come to an end. Sinwar was released, what was the outcome of that? Have we learned anything? And now we are in the first square. And I understand that it's inevitable. We have no other choice. If we bring the hostages back, but I hope that the Shin and the Mosab, they have plan B of killing all these motherfuckers. In like a million different ways. I don't care if Ibrahim Hamid is gonna die in a bullet in his head or like in severe diarrhea. I don't care. There has to be a way. Yeah, they cannot get away with their crime, and I hope that this is just tactical to bring the hostages, because there is no other way, and the hostages can die slowly. But will we allow them this time the freedom, like Salih al-Aruri, like Khalid Mash'al, to just roam the region and raise funds and plot in the dark of the night?
Jazeera, all the day in Jazeera, interviews, they reach.
And get diplomatic passports and fly all over Europe and have the freedom to repeat again what they've been doing. I think this would be a mistake. So the moment the hostages are back, we have to deal with these criminals, with these mass murderers, even if we have to deal with them the dirty way. And Gunen and I were ready to go back in business.
In Gaza, in Ramallah?
Okay, familiar with Hamas indoctrination. But the Nukhba, this is the new liberation that I did not live with, I did not witness. I have experience with some of the most rigid Hamas mentalities. That's why I hated them even from my childhood. Give me the indoctrination. And the outcome was something completely different than what they expected. This is why I make them uncomfortable. The more I breathe, the more they feel uncomfortable. The more I live, the more they feel the stress. And I will continue to do that because their conditioning is rigid. Their conditioning is rigid. Murder. You know, they want people to die. And of course, they give the people indoctrination on one hand. Then on the other hand, when their violence takes place, they start crying and say, genocide, genocide. Well, you have been indoctrinating the children for 36 years, for 70 years actually. Because what's the difference between Hamas and Fatah and the other groups? I don't care about their names. It's just like the same evil, different package.
But Abu Mazen, you have a suit, he's a guy, he's a nice guy.
In my opinion, these people are more dangerous than Hamas. Hamas, at least, everybody in the room agree. You know, all the mess that we have been dealing with since the beginning of the war, this global chaos, and the attempts to delegitimize Israel, to criminalize Israel, to demonize and dehumanize the Jewish people, the Jewish nation. You think this is the work of Hamas? It's not the work of Hamas, it's the work of the Palestinian Authority. Their heavy work is abroad. Their biggest budget is not spent on infrastructure and educating the Palestinian children how to coexist with the neighboring countries. Their biggest budget is to spread propaganda against Israel worldwide. Their embassies, ambassadors, delegations, everywhere in the world, 80% of their budget is spent on a campaign to cancel Israel globally. And that's the work of Mahmoud Abbas. They have been doing it even before Israel allowed them to come back to the territories in 1993 or 94.
The agreement for the Jericho and 6 Ramallah.
Yes. So basically, who's more dangerous? Who's more dangerous? The terrorist or the double-faced hypocrite who's posing as a moderate voice? So we are dealing with very dangerous people, and in my opinion, they are two sides of the same coin. They are dark, and I don't like their game, and I'm tired actually of the game of good cop, bad cop. Both of them are serving the same master, and we are done with this game. Kick them out, all of them. October 7 brought me here in the worst possible way. I have no other choice. Because I feel you. I understand your struggle, and it's my moral responsibility. And truly, it's coming from the heart. This is not a career, it's not a propaganda. This is just a bond straight from the heart to the heart. And I know that all of us, in this room and outside this room, as a nation, will overcome this crisis and will prove to the world our resilience, our bravery, our strength, our courage, our love for life. Thank you for coming to me.
Thank you.